Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening depending on where you are in this amazing world. My name is Donovan Jolly, and welcome everybody once again for another amazing video of DIY investing. For today's video, we're going to be diving into the NFT space because a lot of you guys have been asking me questions about this. Just recently, I've actually dove into buying some of these NFTs, and I've made some really good profits. I didn't really let anybody know when I was doing this just because I didn't fully even understand what I was doing, and I didn't want to lead people to the slaughterhouse. So now that I've actually made some profit, I wanted to share with you guys the NFT that I got into. I want to share with you guys how to spot and find profitable NFTs and what to really look for when it comes to buying into these, because a lot of people, are really confused. They're wondering why anybody would spend so much money on these random pictures. But the thing about NFTs, guys, is there's so much more than just pictures, and I'm going to explain to you guys exactly why they're valuable, how you can go about making money off of them, and what to look forward to long term with these amazing opportunities. If you're new and just finding this channel, always remember to do me a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing to this channel for more updates. Always remember to click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of these amazing videos like the one provided for you here. And make sure you guys sign up and join to the Discord server of over 20,000 members and growing. If you guys want to congregate with the rest of my community and share your own thoughts on the market, links are going to be provided for you in the description to go ahead and sign up. On top of that, if you're new, just getting into these markets, maybe you made a couple mistakes, or maybe you just want to further your own knowledge in the market, I have a free ebook and a beginner's guide that's going to teach you guys some of the best knowledge and strategies that I've ever learned on how to be more profitable. So check it out. Links are provided for you in the description. And with all that being said, guys, let's jump right into this amazing video today. Alrighty guys, so to start off, this is going to be a little bit different from my normal video routine. Now you guys already know I've been into NFTs for a while. I've actually been building an NFT project with a group of guys over at EcoFi, and so I've already known about NFTs. I knew what these things would become, but when it comes to actually investing and buying into some of these, I was a novice. I was kind of standoffish. In the same way that I see people miss out in DeFi back in 2020, I see the same thing happening with NFTs. And so I figured it would be a good opportunity to dive into this stuff, give you guys some thoughts on what I think about this, because at the end of the day, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. When it comes to buying a lot of these, there are scams, but at the end of the day, there's so much hype around crypto right now that we're breaking into new all-time highs, these NFTs have really been leading the way. And what's interesting to me is even when the entire market tanked, when Bitcoin topped out at 65K, NFTs kept going up in value. And so what that tells me is that NFTs are something, kind of an outlier of this cycle. They're not entirely affected by the price action of Bitcoin. Yes, these things only go up in value because of the Bitcoin cycle in general, but these have been able to withstand the sell-offs in a much, much greater way than even altcoins could. And so I think that there's a lot of value in these. I think that they're going to continue to perform well until the end of the year. Once the cycle tops, obviously there's going to be a lot of liquidity that dries up. A lot of people are going to be selling. And ultimately we would expect to see the prices of these things come down. But in the moment right now, over the next 5 months, these are great opportunities. And I've actually made quite a bit of money off of, not very much. I invested just a little bit under $3,000 in my first pre-sale. And over that one pre-sale, I've made that over $50,000. It's been over 20x. I think it's closer to 30 to 40x at this point that I've made off of just one pre-sale of these NFTs. And so, that was the first time I'd ever got into these. I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't know if maybe I was just going to lose all of my money. And so I didn't really want to tell you guys all about that if it happened to be a really crappy opportunity, right? So now that I understand a little bit more about this stuff, understanding why they're valuable, let's just talk about some thoughts here. Now, unless you're hiding under a rock, chances are you've probably heard of CryptoPunks, right? As you guys can see, in the last 24 hours, it's over doubled in price. As you guys can see, in the 7 days, it's up 912%, almost 10x. And if you guys look throughout here, you're going to notice that a lot of these other ones are up, even higher. Meebits, created by CryptoPunks at Larva Labs, they're up over 22x. Parallel's up 20x. These ones are up over 12x, and you guys can, that's actually 11,000%. So you guys can see what I'm talking about here. There's a ton of profit to be made right here. Now, I've jumped into a few of these. I've only bought really 2 different groups of these, and both of them were in the pre-sale. And so I just wanted to share with you guys some of the volume that we're seeing in here, 8,000%. I missed out on these, had the opportunity of buying at the very bottom, and I missed out. This is kind of the thing, guys. When it comes to me, you guys know me from being able to trade technicals. I look at the charts, I analyze data, and that's kind of how I base my strategy. When it comes to these NFTs, there is no chart. There really isn't all that much data. It's literally just you buying these collectibles. And I'm not really an artist, I'm not really big into art, never have been my whole life, yet we're seeing all of this centered around art really taking off. Now, a lot of people have their own theories as why that is. People say money laundering. I think that that's just wrong. I just think that these people saying these things don't understand NFTs. Now, one of the big things that I want to talk about here is actually the DogePound. This is the original one that I got into, and I'm going to share with you guys kind of the structure that they have as a company, how I see value in this project long term, and what you guys should really look for when it comes to finding NFTs of your own. Because I'm telling you guys right now, I truly believe that this is a great opportunity. I've made more money off of NFTs in the last couple months, specifically the last month, than I made off of any of my trades, even trades that I made, 20x returns. I had to hold some of those altcoins, over a year or close to a year period of time. And I've held the DogePound for less than a month, about a month almost exactly. And I'm up over 30x at this point. And so I really believe that if you guys pay attention, find the good outlying projects, you're going to be able to make the same size of returns that I did. But now I'm going to teach you guys what to look out for. And so as you guys can see, if you want to check this stuff out, OpenSea is kind of the main platform where a lot of this stuff is going on. Rarible is another one, but in my opinion, OpenSea is the greatest one. They're actually a little bit older. I think it's a little bit better to go here, but you guys can actually check out all of these different NFT groups, categories, platform, or you guys can actually check out all these different NFTs, and you guys can track their data, look at what the floor price is for the average sell, and you guys can actually go in here and ultimately invest into these your own. And so I'm going to link this in the description. Now, what I want to talk to you guys about is the DogePound. This video is kind of structured around the DogePound because I believe that these guys are really at the very beginning of everything. Like, they've gone up a lot. Like I said, I've made a lot since the pre-sale. But I still think that these have a ton more upside potential still to go. In my opinion, what the DogePound is doing is it encompasses all of the real value prospects of what makes NFTs great. Now, they have great art, it's fun art, it's really enjoyable. They've already came into a niche being Doge that everybody's hyped about. We have Elon Musk that's a Dogecoin holder. We have all of these other people that have been shilling Doge. Even though the price has come down, I fully expect that Dogecoin is going to break above $1 by the end of this year. And so because of that, the NFT Doge group and the Doge community is very, very big. So when it comes to looking for NFTs, first things first, you want to find something that's creative. You want to find something with great art, something that's fun, people will enjoy, that can really build a community behind. In my opinion, that's exactly what DogePound is doing. They have these really fun artwork with all these different characters. Now, generally, the way you're going to find with all of these NFTs is there's usually going to be about 10,000 parts. Sometimes there's more, sometimes there's less. But the thing that you guys need to understand is why these are valuable and why you can't just take a screenshot of a piece of picture and say, okay, this is my NFT. It doesn't work like that. The reason why people are buying these is because the underlying token. It's not the picture itself, although that does, inherently bring a lot of the value proposition. It's actually the token itself. In the same way that we trade cryptocurrencies, the tokens, the cryptos, all of that stuff, we're doing the same thing with the NFTs because it's an underlying crypto token that we're investing into. And so this is literally why NFTs are so valuable. It proves ownership, and it's a tokenized ownership in your wallet. You can own that, you can prove that you have that, and that is on the blockchain permanently, publicly. And there's nobody that can really take that from you unless obviously you're hacked. And so it's not that you're just taking a picture and holding the picture, because a picture can be duplicated, a picture can be stolen, but the token itself cannot. I mean, the token itself could be stolen, but you can't duplicate that token. And so that's what makes NFTs so great. The reason I got so heavily into EcoFi is 100% because of the reason when you think about NFTs, and I thought about, where I see the most value inside of these in modern day society, I thought about the music industry, I thought about art, I thought about, photography, things like that. And then I thought about, even just identification, whether it's you have a contract for anything, a contract or business agreement, whether it is actually, some kind of certificate proven that you own something, saying instead of a piece of paper, you would actually just hold the token, and that would be your proof of identification. And that way, you can lose the certificate, and ultimately it's going to be public information on the blockchain that nobody's going to be able to go back and rewrite. They're not going to be able to implement anything, and they're not going to be able to change that. And that's why NFTs are valuable. Imagine if you're, a famous artist, specifically, let's say, a musician, and you have your music and it can be pirated, it can be stolen, it can be duplicated. Well, if you make people buy the token and it's backed to the actual token itself, they have to pay for the token to actually listen to that song. And this is going to be the new framework of all society in general. Let's say that you have a title for a car, and you lose that title. It can be a big pain in the butt to go back and make a new title. You have to go through all of the different legalities on how to actually prove that you own that, how to prove that it's not stolen, and all of these things. Whereas, if you just tokenize that information, you don't have to worry about losing it. It's just going to be in the blockchain, engraved in there forever, right? And so that's why I see so much value in NFTs. Now, when it comes to the DogePound, when it comes to these other NFTs, you're not seeing that. It's kind of like the ICO craze, where most of the ICO projects were scams, but it was the underlying technology that was bringing so much money into these. Oh, wow, we can launch a pre-sale. We can generate all of this revenue that we can use to reinvest into our project and build it long term. That's a great idea, right? And then you obviously have the people that come in and say, wow, we can raise all of this money and then just take it from everyone. So you're going to get the same sort of thing, but it's the underlying technology that is bringing so much hype into this. It's the NFT movement, and that's why we're seeing these things go up in so much value. And so when it comes to the DogePound, one of the big reasons why I like this, comparing it to other projects, is it's got a limited supply. There's only 10,000 art pieces total. So you look at cryptos, even Bitcoin has 21 million Bitcoin total. But the thing about Bitcoin is that's even a really small supply in comparison to a lot of the other cryptos out there. NFTs are even more scarce. There's even less of a supply. And then on top of that, they're unique in every single way. Every one of these Doges is different. They all have different traits. This one might have an earring. This one might wear glasses. This one might have stitched mouth. This one might have a funny looking hat, right? All of these bring a certain aspect of rarity. And so not only is there a cap supply, a small supply of 10,000, but then each character has a certain amount of traits that either make him more rare or less rare than the rest of the group in the 10,000. So by minting some of these, by participating in the pre-sale, you have the chance to pull a lot of even more rare collectibles that can be worth a significant amount of money. And I'll explain further once we get through here. Now, what you want to look for when it comes to finding a really good project is a clear roadmap. What is the long-term future and the outlook for these different things? Some of them won't have one at all. Some of them will just simply be the art. Those, in my opinion, have less of a value proposition because you want to see something long-term. What are they going to bring utility-wise to the table that's going to continue to promote new buyers entering the market? Well, this is kind of the DogePound roadmap that they went with. Some of the Doge NFTs will be airdropped to our early adopters and fan base. We ramp up Discord and social media management, which will include a pack of community managers, moderators to bring the Doge community to the moon. So they invested into early infrastructure, a foundational piece, Discord, marketing, influencers, right? And then a little bit extra, 20,000 donation fund will be established and will help with the community. We will decide on charity who is a good partner for our project. With the project, we want to bring together a community of Doge and dog lovers. Once again, investing into the foundation. A lot of these other projects don't have a roadmap, and this is one of the big reasons why I valued the DogePound and why I actually participated in these compared to other projects. 70%, an exclusive, the DogePound merch line will drop. This will be hats, t-shirts, and most importantly, apparel for your dogs. We already have several designs done and ready to go. Further community engagement. People are really excited when they can actually participate, own collectibles, being clothing. 90%, community grant fund of 30,000 is launched. Create, design, develop, or build something that the community values. Extra utility for the Doges, additional art, memes, etc. See, these are all the really cool things that I love about this project, is they're making money off of the community, obviously, but they're reinvesting that into making the DogePound NFTs even more valuable. This is what you want to see. You want to see a project that wants to reinvest the profits that they make to make the overall foundation even better. Now, you guys have trading pools to help stabilize the token price. That helps with the volume, helps with liquidity, all of that stuff. And one of the other cool things is if we scroll down here, their long-term plan is to actually have a 3D metaverse, right? So you guys can actually come in here and you're going to be able to trade the items. You guys are going to be able to potentially play in a video game. Who knows what ends up happening with that. But then my favorite part about this is really everybody that owns one of these DogePound NFTs is actually going to get airdropped a puppy. And the long-term plan for this project is ultimately the ability to be able to breed these, right? You're going to be able to breed the Doges, the rare Doges, and any Doge really for that matter, between each other. You're going to be able to create puppies, and then you're going to be able to ultimately raise those puppies, which then, depending on how much effort you put into raising that puppy, how much stuff you put into that money-wise, that's going to dictate how many rare traits they come with. And so for you guys that maybe are a little bit misunderstanding of what does this mean, what are the traits, all of that, let's go take a look at my profile and let's take a look at my Doges that I actually have. So I minted these at 0.069 Ethereum a piece. Most every one of these offers is over Ethereum. Some of them are even more. This one's 1.5 Ethereum, right? So it really depends. Some of these all look very different. Some of them are more rare than others. For example, let's click on this one. And if we pull this one up and we scroll down, we can come over here to properties. Now, this is where you're going to see how rare these traits are. So the background being red, 12% of these Doges have that trait. Cross-eyed, 2% have this. Eyewear, futuristic, only 2%. Alien fur, 1% of these Doges has this trait, meaning that there's just a small amount that actually have some of these traits, right? And so it really depends. Doge gender, over 35% have this trait, so that's not very rare. But all of these have different amount of traits, qualities, and all of that. And so if we come down here, that doesn't always mean that that's going to be the very best Dogecoin. It doesn't mean it's always going to be worth the most. For example, if we come over here and look at this one, this is the one that I have the most offer on. 1.5 Ethereum, over $4,100 worth. And if we come down to the properties, you know, there isn't very many properties. It's also not that rare, but it's unique because it's a simple Doge and it just has a cigarette in his mouth or whatever, right? And so it's really just the artwork that ultimately brings a lot more value to this. Yes, there are character traits that are also more rare that enhance the ability to, you know, sell it at a higher price. But regardless, that's not always the end all take with all of this stuff. You can really, you know, sell whatever you want, and somebody out there might find it really unique that you have a Doge that's just plain compared to a Doge that actually has more rare traits, and they're going to offer you more for that. For example, you know, this one technically isn't ranked as high as being as rare as this one, but you know, I have 0.2 Ethereum higher of an offer price than I do with this one. And so it really just depends when it comes into these groups. If we come over here and actually search the DogePound, you guys are going to be able to kind of understand a little bit more. You guys can actually apply filters, and let's look at, you know, price high to low. Actually, let's do the recently sold, because we're going to be able to see what these things have been going for. So we're going to go to recently sold. We can see that the last is what it was recently sold for. So 1.5, 1.44, 1.5. 1.69, you know, some of these are more rare, like these eyeballs are very common. So the top bid's over 2 Ethereum for that one. We can scroll down, you know, they have set prices that are kind of high. This one, 3 ETH, you know, it really just depends. But regardless, guys, all of these are going to be vastly different from each other. And depending on how different, depending on how rare, how unique these traits are, you're going to be able to sell them for even more. And the fun aspect of all of this, the part that I love a lot about these NFTs, is it's very fair because it's random what Doge you're going to get. When you go to the pre-sale, you basically say how much ETH you want to spend. It'll show you the gas fee, and when you click buy, it's just going to randomly buy whatever you're in line for, whether it's randomly selected or whether it's in a certain order. You have no idea what you're getting. And so you might spend $10,000 and somebody might spend $500, and that somebody that spent $500 could pull a more rare one than any of your $10,000 that you spent into these DogePound. And so it doesn't necessarily mean just because you have more money, you're going to make the most in this. Yeah, you're going to have more Doges in general, which, you know, chances are will end up making you more money. But if that one person that spends just a couple $100 ends up pulling a super rare Doge, you know, that one Doge could be worth, you know, 10 ETH. For example, I have one. For example, I actually have one that is this VR background, and I paid $5,000 for this, right? I have never had an offer that was more for that. But regardless, I'm happy to hold this because of how rare this trait actually is. If I come down here, only 0.24% of all the 10,000 have this trait. And you guys can click on these, and it'll actually just pull up all of the other Doges with this trait. And this is literally all of them so far that are listed on OpenSea. And so this is a rare group of Doge, right? They're going to be worth a lot more. And as you guys can see, the offers are a lot higher. 3, you know, this one was almost 7, 2, this one's almost 8, right? So these are all very, very, very rare Doges. And because of that, you know, a lot of these are going to sell for a lot of money. I think that the overall floor price for these is 10 Ethereum a piece. Just for one of these VR backgrounds, it's 10 Ethereum. And so this is why I find so much value in this stuff. Chances are it's not going to make a lot of sense to a lot of you guys. Chances are most of you aren't going to actually want to invest into NFTs. I was on that same fence. I was watching CryptoPunks take off. I had the chance of getting in at the CryptoPunks when the floor was 20K. It's over 100K right now. I could have bought a lot of these punks and I could have made a ton of money off of doing so. But at the end of the day, you know, I still jumped in. I still had an open mind, and that's why I'm investing into these today. And so, guys, there's a lot of unknowingness with the NFTs. There's a lot that most of you guys probably won't understand. A lot of you guys have no idea why somebody would pay, you know, 3 ETH for one of these things, because that's a lot of money, right? But at the end of the day, it's the collectible aspect of things. Doge is a huge community. People are really excited about it. And with the hype around NFTs in general and crypto as a whole, there's a lot of money flowing into this stuff, and a lot of people have tons of money in crypto. Right now, what is something that really interests me is actually how many influencers getting into the DogePound. Now, I'm not trying to say that everybody should go buy a DogePound, but if you could find a good deal on one, I highly advise to at least own a couple, because I mean, why not? These things have only gone up since they've been around. There's really there's nothing telling me that with all of the new stuff that they're going to be releasing for these, everybody that owns one of these Doge is going to get airdropped a 1-to-1 ratio and a puppy. And you're going to be able to do a lot with these different puppies. Like I said, when they actually implement breeding and all of this stuff, you're going to be able to make a lot of money off of this stuff. And so it's kind of like yield farming and DeFi combined with NFTs. And that's what I love about this stuff. We're seeing the gamification of money. It's the tokenization and gamification of just all of our money. We're able to play these games and earn a lot of money doing so because we're at the forefront of something special. Do I think that all of these are just going to keep going up infinitely forever? No, of course not. Once the cycle tops, I fully expect these things to come down in value. But regardless, guys, we're literally at the forefront of something amazing, and you guys have an amazing opportunity of actually getting in at the ground floor. So let's talk about something else real quick. Let's actually go into the DogePound Discord. But if you guys remember Wall Street Bets, that was actually a subreddit forum, and that was what liquidated the multi-billion-dollar hedge fund, right? That was when we saw the GameStop price skyrocket 3,000%, liquidate this multi-billion-dollar hedge fund. And what's interesting to me is the CEO of, or not the CEO, but the chairman of Wall Street Bets, he's actually a buyer of these NFTs, and he's actually marketing for these guys. He's helping a lot of big influencers come in on this. And so I'm making this video, but as I'm making this video, there's going to be a ton of more influencers that are actually going to be covering this that are much greater than me. You know, just aside from crypto, like actually famous people in general are going to be talking about this. And actually Steve Aoki, the EDM artist, he bought 7 of them last night. So you're seeing a lot of really famous people jumping into the NFT space. We're seeing a lot more people that are actually participating in the DogePound. And because of that, there's going to be a ton of attraction. There's going to be a ton of eyes, a lot of media that's actually going to be taking a look at this stuff. And so whether you're buying DogePound or whether you're not, the biggest thing you guys can look for is a functioning community. If there is no community yet and you're looking for the pre-sale is going to be the very best opportunity that you can get into this stuff. If you can find one in a pre-sale, you know, there's a lot more what ifs and unknowings on if it'll be successful. But if you find the right pre-sale, you guys can make a ton of money doing so. I've made a ton of money off of this DogePound NFT, which is why it's kind of the structure of this video, is because it's the one that I know the most about. It's the one that I made the most money off of. I've only participated into 2 pre-sales. Those are the only Doges. These are the only NFTs that I've actually even bought. But I'm telling you guys right now that what the DogePound is doing is what everybody should be looking for inside of their community. You guys want to see a good community. You guys want to see a pre-sale if you can get into it, but it's not always a given. Sometimes you can just go buy the NFTs on OpenSea and they still go up a lot in value. It really just comes down to, is there a clear roadmap? Is there a long-term outlook? What are these guys going to be creating? And if you can only find 1 or 2 things, you know, that's obviously going to be less valuable than something that has a clear roadmap. They're going to be releasing new things. You're going to be getting a lot of extras. That to me is where the value comes into this stuff. And so do your own due diligence. Obviously, it's just like investing into crypto, except, you know, in my opinion, there's a lot less logic behind it. And that's why most people are having a hard time diving into this stuff. It's hard to say, oh man, I'll go spend $5,000 on this little piece of art of this Doge, right? And then people are sitting there, man, that's a lot of money. Why would I do that when I can invest into a project or a crypto that I find a lot of value in? Well, the reason why is simply because these things are outperforming the cryptos, and you can make more money doing this. And so it's worth the gamble, in my opinion. It doesn't take necessarily that much depending on which investment you go for. DogePound, you know, the floor is actually a lot higher at this point. You're going to have to pay over Ethereum. just to buy any of them for the most part. And so I would just watch these things. I'd pay attention for them. If you guys want to actually check a little bit more of the insights, you guys can join the Discord of the DogePound. Or if you guys want to look into more of the advanced analytics, this Rarity Sniper, you know, this is where you can actually search your NFTs that you purchase, and you guys can use this command and it'll pop it up and it'll show you the rarity rank, right? So this one's ranked 3,081 out of 10,000. And you guys can go through and look at all of these different NFTs that you guys may buy. Even if you're not buying them, if you guys, you know, see one that you like, you can come in here and search how rare it is. And if it's ranked really rare and it's worth a good price, you know, that's a good opportunity. There's all these different tools that you can use on how to actually find good NFTs, what to look for. You know, if you're buying a rare one, or if you're getting scammed, or if you're overpaying for something, right? These are how you're actually going to be able to distinguish. So there is a little bit of data. There is a little bit of research that goes into this stuff. Most people would never even imagine. But I'm telling you guys, as somebody who's made a lot of money thus far and somebody who's really diving into these NFTs head first, you know, this is how I'm doing it. This is what I foresee coming. Like I said, look for the strong communities. Look for the ones that have high volume. I'm going to link all of this stuff in the description of this video. I'm going to link this link as well. That's going to take you to all of the volume. If you guys see dip days, if you guys see, you know, communities that have kind of sold off a little bit, taking profits, oftentimes that's exactly when you want to be buying. Because like I said, guys, these things are skyrocketing in value. And you guys can come all the way down here and search for some unknowns, some with very low amounts of volume. And if you happen to find the right one that ends up taking off, I'm telling you guys, you're going to make a lot of money with this. Obviously, do your own research, do your own due diligence, but this is my thoughts on it. I wanted to share with this guys. I wanted to share with you guys this video as an introduction to NFTs. You know, it's a completely new emerging market. It reminds me a lot of DeFi summer back in 2020. You know, a lot of people missed out in the DeFi craze. A lot of people are missing out on NFTs, but in my opinion, in the same way that DeFi was valuable, I think NFTs are arguably more valuable, and you can make a ton of money doing this. I wouldn't have started the project with EcoFi, been working on that with them if I didn't foresee the value in these. But now we're actually seeing a fun game. You know, I've had more fun trading these NFTs than I have trading crypto because it's fun, it's artistic, it's creative, and because of that, in my opinion, it's way more fun. It's like playing a video game that just pays you real life valuable tokens. I don't think you can really beat that. So anyways, guys, if you found value in this, leave a like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. If you guys want more updates, if you guys would like to join the Discord or download my free ebook, links are provided for you in the description for that. For the people that would like to sign up for my video course in signals, links are also in the description for that as well. Thank you all so much for watching, and with that being said, I'll catch you in the next one. As always, peace out.